The presidential primary season is finally almost here. The Iowa caucuses are in just over 40 days from now. And one of those candidates who is hard at work tonight on the campaign trail in Iowa is Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor Huckabee, welcome to America Trends.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gina. Great to be on with you tonight on America Trends.
Great to have you, Governor. Now, conservatives are not happy at all about, I called it the Cromnibus Christmas, the latest $1 trillion budget deal that Republicans just caved in on in Washington, D.C. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, it appears to me that the Democrats got everything they wanted. I mean, their Christmas list was completely filled. They're dancing with joy. They got candy canes. They got it all. Harry Reid, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Planned Parenthood. They're dancing in the streets. All the Republicans got was a nasty lump of coal in their stocking, but they got it because that's all they asked for. I am so frustrated. I mean, this is a deal where Planned Parenthood got funded, Syrian refugees got funded, illegal immigration got funded, increase by 400% of bringing foreign workers got funded. The Iranian deal got funded. I mean, it's a treasure chest of things for liberals. And the conservatives, who hold both houses of Congress in the majority, both House and Senate, caved in completely. These are the people who are like going to a poker game. They got dealt 4 aces at the beginning of the game, and they folded before they anteed up. Gina, it's just remarkable. I don't know why in the world we work so hard to get these people elected to be the majority.
I think that has to be what every Republican voter is wondering right now, when all they got really was a stocking full of bills for all of this, to the amount of $1 trillion. It's unbelievable. Governor, I want to ask you about your fellow candidate, or actually, I guess I should say former fellow candidate, Lindsey Graham. He suspended his campaign today. What do you have to say about Senator Graham as a presidential candidate, as you campaigned alongside him for the same office? Was it time for him to go, Governor?
Well, you know, I've known the senator a long time. He's a friend. I thought he brought a lot to the debate in terms of focusing on national security. He was steadfast in believing that we have to go after ISIS. Whether you agree with all of the specifics of Lindsey Graham's view on how to go after ISIS, how to go after Islamic terrorists, you have to appreciate that he was a man of great conviction. He's also a person who served his country very honorably in the Air Force, the regular Air Force, then the reserves, as a congressman, as a senator. So again, disagree with Lindsey on some issues, but I thought that his voice was an important one in the process. And, you know, I'll miss him on the trail because he's also a very nice person and has a great sense of humor.
Governor, where do you think most of his support goes?
Well, there wasn't a lot of it, you know, and I don't know where it goes. I think it's going to make some things interesting in South Carolina because, quite frankly, one of the things that we kept hearing in South Carolina from elected officials, nobody wanted to go out and openly endorse anybody else because, you know, they didn't want to go against their home state guy, and I understand that. So I think that's perhaps the biggest battleground that you'll see is who breaks with whom over the course of the next few weeks in South Carolina. But you know, I don't see a big wave happening one way or the other. But I do think that, you know, Lindsey's voice on national security will be missed on that stage.
Governor, again, you're being positive about somebody that, frankly, most conservatives weren't super fond of. You're pretty famous, though, for running a very positive campaign. Why do you decide to keep it so positive when it seems like some negativity, at least on the campaign trail, resonates sometimes?
Well, because the Republicans aren't my enemies. And in fact, I'd even say the Democrats aren't my enemies, they're my opponents. But I disagree with what they want to do. I disagree with the high taxes, more federal government. I disagree with their propensity to want to fund abortion. I disagree with their light footprint approach to dealing with radical Islam. I disagree with the fact that they won't call it what it is. So there's not as much difference of view with some of the Republicans on this stage.
True.
And frankly, Gina, I don't want to go out there and savage them because here's the problem. If we eat each other alive on those debate stages or even on the campaign trail, whoever gets the nomination will want the support of those other people. Then you're put in that position of either having to say, that guy that I told you wasn't fit to be president, now I'm going to go out and tell everybody that he's going to be a great president. So it just looks so disingenuous. I'd rather focus on what we need to do to make America great, not what's wrong with one of the other candidates. Now, granted, there are some issues with some of the candidates I don't agree with. And some of them I frankly just don't think are prepared to be president. They make great speeches, but they're utterly untested, have never been put through that vetting process. We don't know what kind of decisions they would make as president, because they've never made any. All they can do is tell us what they would do, what they'd like to do. Their speeches are interesting, but I can tell you from having been a governor for a long period of time, fighting against a 90% Democrat legislature, making a speech isn't leadership. That's not making things happen. It's not being able to win. And I do think that what people want is effective leadership, where we do better than what we got last week with that absolutely embarrassing, disgusting $1.1 trillion bill of nonsense that the Republicans caved in for.
Yeah. The field of candidates, Governor, is getting smaller, and the Iowa caucuses are coming up soon. They're the kind of voters that are your core constituency. How do you think you will do on caucus day in Iowa?
I think we'll surprise people. You know, Iowa is the surprise ground. In fact, we polled 5,000 people in Iowa last week, and one of the things we found that was kind of surprising to us, 75% of them say they have not made a decision. 58% of them haven't really even thought that seriously about it and aren't even close to making a decision. So when you hear the national pundits sit around and talk about it as if it's over, I think they forget that 4 years ago, Rick Santorum was in single digits, 6th place, barely registered in Iowa, and ended up winning. 8 years ago, I was doing better than that, but I certainly wasn't in a position where anybody thought I was going to beat Mitt Romney, who was outspending me 15-1, and it looked like it would just be that I would try to make a nice showing for 2nd or maybe 3rd place. I ended up getting more votes than anyone in the history of the Iowa caucus. Iowa's a quirky state in that they like to date, but they don't like to put a ring on it until just right at the wedding.
All right. Well, speaking of sacred things, I would like to hear what gift you're most excited about giving this Christmas, or what event you're looking the most forward to with your family this Christmas season.
Well, it's easy for me because we've got 5 grandkids now, all 4 years old and younger. So frankly, Janet and I don't give a hoot about anything we get. I don't know that we need anything, want anything, or expect anything. What we are probably going to do is spoil those grandkids with a truck full of stuff that their parents are going to have to sort out. But to be able to spend that time with them, our tradition is we go to church on Christmas Eve, we get together with our family, have Chinese food, and then open our gifts. Now, what Chinese food has to do with it, I have no idea. It's just something we've been doing.
It tastes good. It just tastes good, right?
It's fun. It's our tradition. And, you know, we're looking forward to having a couple of days off, and then it's back to Iowa, and I'll spend most of January there. I think we've got 17 or 18 full-time staffers in Iowa, and they'll be camped out there along with the rest of us all throughout the month of January.
All right, Governor, let us know how we can find out more about your campaign.
MikeHuckabee.com, our website. Hope people will go and help us. We would love to have them join our team.
Pretty straightforward, Governor. Thanks for being with us tonight on America Trends. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas.
See you in 2016.